What's up YouTube, Capital G here, talking about the Danger archetype in this video and why, for the sake of Yu-Gi-Oh!, for the good of the game, Konami must take the very drastic action of deleting the entire Danger archetype. I know it's going to sound like I've gone crazy, I've lost my marbles. Cap G, you've gone completely overboard, this can't be done, it's an overreaction, etc, etc. Guys, I have thought about this long and hard, and this is the only logical conclusion that I've come to. I kind of feel like the Dangers, yes, they have introduced some good into the game, and even though I've made my stand, I've, taken my side of the argument, I will talk about some of the good that they've introduced. But let's just be real, let's just be completely honest, whether you own Danger cards or not, whether you like the archetype or not, don't you just feel like right now they're more trouble than they're worth? I mean, this archetype has only been out for 2 core booster sets. I'm not even going to include Savage Strike yet. Let's just talk about Cybernetic Horizon and Soul Fusion, and look how many FTKs involving them have popped up. Doesn't it feel like every single month there's a new FTK, whether it's Danger Dark World FTK, Slash Draw FTK, Cyberstein Danger FTK, and honestly, I just have fatigue of it. Now, obviously, me being a YouTuber, I see it probably a lot more than the average duelist, but I'm very sick of us just pointing to a new card each month and saying that card needs to be banned, etc. Get Slash Draw out of the game, just ban it, get Cyberstein rebanned, etc, etc. But doesn't it feel like the Dangers are the common denominator? I mean, how many FTKs are really popping up in the last few months that don't involve Dangers? Because I feel like every single one of them do. And for those of you who are on the side of saying, no, Cap, just ban Cyberstein, you get rid of Cyberstein, the problem solved, I will actually show a duel in this video, in this actual video you guys are watching right now, where you do not need Cyberstein to pull off an FTK. I believe it's done with double copies of Cosmos Sword Troopers. You guys will see it in the video. So it kind of just proves that Cyberstein is not the problem. The problem is this very imbalanced archetype. And what I'm proposing is that Konami limits every single Danger monster, put every single one of those cards at 1. This is going to sound like something that has pretty much never been done before, but I think that it is very comparable to what Konami has done with the Dragon Rulers. The Dragon Rulers, you guys know that it's 8 cards in the archetype. There's the 4 elemental dragons, and you've got an adult version and you got a baby version, and every single one of those cards has been banned at one point in the TCG or the OCG. Hell, I mean, all the big rulers are still banned in the TCG, and I believe that they have Tempest and that's it in the OCG. But obviously way back when during Zexal, they banned all the baby rulers at first. So Dragon Rulers are an archetype very similar to Danger that I feel like, because every single card in the entire archetype essentially has the same effect, or has one effect that is similar amongst all the cards, it just kind of ends up being a problem. And it really becomes problematic as they create more and more monsters in the archetype. And Sammy had an idea of limiting Danger Nessie, because I think it's just kind of the general consensus that Danger Nessie is the best Danger of all the monsters. But I really thought about that, and limiting Danger Nessie doesn't do anything, to be honest, because think about it, especially now that Danger has got a 9th monster in Savage Strike, what would really be the difference if you were running a Danger FTK variant, or even if you wanted to play, let's just say they rebanned Cyberstein, would it really stop another Danger FTK from popping up if you had to run, I don't know, 25 Danger monsters instead of running 27? Like, that's not going to do anything. Does that legitimately sound like it's going to slow down a Danger FTK? If somebody said, Cap G, give me them 2 copies of Nessie, you can't run those anymore, have fun not FTKing, I'd be like, okay, I guess I'll just run, I don't know, I'll just run 2 more filler cards. I'm pretty sure I can still just pull off the FTK with absolutely no legitimate hits to my consistency. So I feel like if you hit any of the cards in the archetype to 1, people will just up the number of the other cards, considering they all function the same. And that's really one of the problems, and one of the things that's just bizarre to me when it comes to the Danger archetype is that Konami did not put hard once per turns on their hand activations. It's so weird, because in 2018 it feels like everything has a hard once per turn. If you look at a lot of the new archetypes like Orcus and Salamangreat, if you're a fan of those archetypes, like me, I look through Salamangreat, I'm like, god damn, every single thing in this fucking archetype is like a hard once per turn. Whenever there's a new archetype that interests you, you're probably looking at it and you're realizing, wow, everything's a hard once per turn. but it's just so weird that Dangers didn't get that when it comes to their hand activations. And I identified that Dangers were kind of fundamentally broken very early. You guys know that it wasn't even a week after the cards were revealed that I posted that video with the Danger Dark World deck, and I think the title of my video was something like Konami messed up, Dangers are broken, etc, etc. And it wasn't because of the board that the player was able to make. He was playing Danger Dark World, if you guys didn't see the video, and he was able to drop a board with like 3 disruptions of Titanic Galaxy and Firewall Dragon and some other crap. But it wasn't the turn 1 board because, as a YouTuber who does a lot of dual videos, I had seen boards of multiple disruptions. So that wasn't anything that I wasn't used to seeing. But what I wasn't used to seeing was a player get through 36 of the 40 cards in their deck turn 1. When I saw that, I was like, whoa, this reminds me of Fan of Darkness, how crazy fast the game was. And I was like, no archetype should allow you to do that. And the thing about it was, at that point, there were only 4 danger monsters. But as I said before, as we got more danger monsters and they all had the same effect, the problem to me felt like it was just going to get worse and worse. Dangers is identical to Dragon Rulers in the sense that the more they create, the more of those monsters that Konami creates, the worse the problem is going to become. Let's just say that in your mind, or in Konami's mind, they said, you know what, there's no more Galaxy Tomahawk, the Dragon Rulers Sub, and Power Creeps. Let's unban them. They're not going to be a problem. And maybe that was Konami's ideology, right? But if Konami then decided, let's just go ahead and make a Dark Dragon Ruler, a Light Dragon Ruler, and then a Divine Dragon Ruler, don't you think that the chances of them becoming problematic would go through the roof if they just arbitrarily decided to make more Dragon Rulers? I kind of feel like that's what we're having with Danger right now. And another thing that I thought that was just really weird about the Danger archetype, and honestly R&D should have had the foresight to realize that eventually this could become a little problematic, was the fact that they have so many monsters that are the same level. And the reason that this is super weird is because you guys know, especially during the Vrains era, it seems like Konami has pretty much gone out of their way to stagger the levels in a lot of the archetypes. Like if you look at Trickstars or Goki or Altergeist, I mean seriously, it's like Konami doesn't ever want you to be able to legitimately exceed in those archetypes. Have you ever exceed someone playing Altergeist? Pretty much is never going to happen. Even in like Goki, you barely like are ever going to exceed. I don't think I've ever really seen a Goki player actually exceed summon. But with the Danger archetype, it was pretty much the exact opposite. Like Konami only made monsters of the same levels. You got like 3 level 8s and 2 level 7s, 2 3s and 2 4s, and that's kind of just weird to me, because it left the possibility open for you to be able to just go into exceed plays incredibly easily. Some people might even say that Galaxy Tomahawk ended up getting banned because of Nessie plays and stuff like that. I do know that the reason that people run the Danger monsters in decks like Salamangrades and decks like Burning Abyss is because they're just free level 3s on the field. Now I will say, on the one positive, I think it's kind of cool to be able to splash Dangers into archetypes like Salamangrades and Burning Abyss, PKs and Time Thieves. I think that it just makes deck building a little interesting, or a little more interesting I should say, and it generally is really fun and enjoyable when you actually are resolving a Danger monster in your hand. There's this feeling of uncertainty and you have no idea what's going to happen. You don't have control over the outcome, and it generally is just a lot of fun. But you do have to acknowledge that that is coming at the cost of Danger FTKs being created basically every single month. So for you, the Burning Abyss player out there maybe watching this video, if you don't want to give up your 3 Jackalopes and your 3 copies of Danger Snack, don't complain when you play against a new Danger FTK next month, because you guys all know that Konami could fucking reban Cyberstein tomorrow. But if they keep all of these Danger cards at 3, especially in a landscape in a Yu-Gi-Oh world where you can combine all of these Danger cards, what, 27 of them potentially, with 3 copies of Allure of Darkness, 3 copies of the Beginning of the End. They just unbanned card destruction. You have Upstart Goblin, Shadow Beast, Zephyros the Elite is another card that you can run one of, and then what, 3 copies of Dark World Brow, and basically, I mean, that's almost an entire deck right there. Do you really believe in your heart that a new Danger FTK is not gonna pop up if they ban Cyberstein? Like, Cyberstein is not going to be the end of the Danger FTKs. There are going to be more of them, and yes, Konami is going to have to do something incredibly incredibly drastic. It's not going to be a situation where they can just hit one card, because unfortunately they designed this archetype very similar to Dragon Rulers, where the more of them there are, the bigger the problem is. You know, the danger cards cannot be put in check by simply hitting one of them, because they all have that same function where they can summon from the hand, you know, get you a monster on board and then get you a draw. It's so absurd that they designed them where they would summon themselves and get you a draw. Like, what? I mean, did they not know that link monsters were a thing when they designed the danger archetype? Because I honestly thought they would have been perfectly fine if it would have done one or the other, but to do both of them is just incredibly short-sighted. I don't know what they were thinking with this archetype. They probably thought because it was supposed to be maybe an archetype like Kaiju's where you can't really run it as its own archetype. Maybe they thought that it wouldn't be all that impactful, but when the OCG players get this, they're going to fucking lose their shit when they realize how broken this archetype is. But you guys let me know in the comment section below, would you guys be on board with my idea of limiting every single danger monster? Because I feel like if they don't, we're just going to have danger FTKs for the foreseeable future. I don't know if Konami will do something drastic like that, but I definitely think it needs to happen. Whatever you guys think, leave it in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.